got my computer working. I'm editing. I forgot that I needed to get like all my stuff set up. So I haven't got my mic or anything, but I finally got my speakers set up very poorly. They sound terrible, but I can hear. So that's a start. I've got the keyboard. I want a new mouse. I swear an actual mouse has peed on the scroller on this, and I've wiped it as best I can, but it's grossing me out. Anyway, editing day 1. It is now day 2 of Christmas. Vlogmas. And Chase is really cranky today. Uh-oh, what have you done? He just keeps pressing the space bar, which is pause and play on the video editing software. But what was I saying? Yeah. Till he could reach the space bar, he's been really cranky, but sleeping less. So I think he's cranky because he still doesn't feel well, but he has a little bit more energy. He still feels kind of warm. Not super boiling, but still definitely 37s. Anyway. We know what's wrong with Chasey now. He's got cold sores. Poor thing. He's got 3 on his tongue, 2 on his inner lip, and then probably more, but we weren't obviously, what's the word? I don't know. I'm really tired. It's been a rough few nights, to be honest. The doctor said it could be hand, foot, and mouth, but it looks more like cold sores. Like you can get hand, foot, and mouth, and it just be in the mouth, but that's less likely than he's got no rashes anywhere else. And we all get cold sores, so he easily could have gotten it from any of us. He doesn't go to daycare, but he does go to like play group and stuff like that. Yeah, so poor thing. It's too late for the antivirals, obviously, and they do help. I think they help from my experience personally. If I take antivirals, a cold sore usually lasts a week or just over a week. But if I don't get to take antivirals, it lasts 2 weeks easily. So yeah, it's Wednesday. He came down on Thursday, so it's probably, although he got a fever on Thursday, so I'm hopeful that his fever didn't kick in until he already had it. So he was fighting it off before then and had it before then, and it's like, I don't know. Just hoping the duration isn't as long as... So tired. But yeah, so it's almost been a week from the fever starting. Oh, Bobby. Just keep up pain relief, fluids. I think Panadol's giving him a tummy ache, so we're on Nurofen. Apparently we can give Nurofen for up to 10 days. He's just getting Nurofen at the moment. And then I'll probably feel bad for giving him so much Nurofen and then give him Panadol and then regret it because he'll do that ouchy thing with his tummy again. I don't know. He's also got SM33 gel. What's interesting is I asked if I could use Kenalog, just because I knew we had that already. That's what I was told to use. And she double checked, so she didn't just base it off. Like, she didn't just say, oh no, that's not good for cold sores. She was like, I'll just double check. And yeah, she did. She looked up the ingredients and was like, no, there's a steroid in it that is going to make cold sores worse. Which is interesting because the doctor that Luke's side of the family sees that I absolutely hate. Like, I can't even fathom how he is a practicing... How? He's the sort of... He gives information out that is the sort of thing that, like, tinfoil hat people say online. And he's not just saying this online on, like, Facebook and Reddit forums. He's saying this as a professional to patients. No, Blanky. I don't know how much, because I only saw him myself once, I think. for the cold sore. So everything else is like second hand, like he's told someone who's then told me. And I'm like, there could be some miscommunication, or the family is just saying what they want to say and then pretending it's coming from him. But when the elderly grandmother fell over and hit her head and split it open and it was bleeding everywhere, he said she can't possibly have a concussion because she never threw up. Even though she was feeling nauseous and showing lots of other signs of concussion, she never threw up, so she doesn't have a concussion. And then it was during COVID times, but I don't think we had COVID this time. But Chase was little baby. He was only a couple of weeks old. We'd only been I don't even think we'd been out of hospital for a month. So it would have been like 6 weeks old, if that. I got told to stop breastfeeding while I was sick because baby will get sick through my breast milk. And I'm like, baby will get sick through me holding him and looking after him because he's a 6-week-old. I'm just talking to a camera, darling. You okay? And I have to touch him and change him, and like I can wear a mask, but I can't just stick him in the corner of a room and isolate him. He's a baby. And also he'd get antibodies from breast milk. Like, formula doesn't give antibodies. It just was like the most outdated, stupid thing. And he did stuff like that all the time. Like, Granny was diagnosed with diabetes. And she was like, she needed metformin and insulin, and she was having really high and low blood sugar. And he was like, oh, it's because she doesn't drink enough water. Or, no, it was something, yeah, it was because she doesn't drink enough water and she has too much pasta and sweets. And that was it, just pasta and sweets. So they were like, he was like, she needs to have more sandwiches. Sandwiches with freaking bread, which white bread, she was just having like constant white bread sandwiches. White bread is the only thing that has ever spiked my sugar at all. Like, back when I was testing my sugar levels and just pissed off at the system for incorrectly diagnosing me with diabetes when I didn't have diabetes, I ate an entire Woolworths cake or Coles cake or one of the cakes. An entire one I ate all by myself. Lots of sugar. Didn't spike my blood sugar at all. My insulin kept it under control. Everything was fine. But this was when I was pregnant, by the way, so insulin is a bit more iffy when you're pregnant. But having, like, if I had 2 sandwiches, so 4 pieces of white bread, that would spike my blood sugar. Not into dangerous levels, but, like, that was the only thing that raised it noticeably that I could ever find. And then I'm like, just stuff like that. He just was prescribing antibiotics at the drop of a hat, and then saying, oh, it's because you didn't wear socks. You walked around your house without socks, you got cold. Like, that is such an old-fashioned thing from, like, before that should have been a myth from before he started practicing medicine. So the one time I did go to see him was when I was desperate. There was no doctor appointments available anywhere. And because I was a friend of the family, he sort of got me in, or the receptionist did anyway. It cost an arm and a leg. He took a swab to confirm, but I had like a massive ulcer across the whole roof of my mouth, like lots of little ones. And yeah, it was a cold sore outbreak I had lots and lots of little cold sores all across the roof of my mouth. It was so sore. So I feel really sorry for Chasey. But yeah, he said they're likely cold sores. We took a swab just to rule out something else. I can't remember what it was. At least we did that. And then he told me to use Kenalog. And I was like, not. And because I'd been using something else. And he was like, no, use Kenalog. And now I'm like looking back like Kenalog, the doctor just checked and Kenalog makes it worse. And I remember saying like it felt better to have that barrier, but otherwise I felt like it was making it worse. And I'm pretty sure I only used the Kenalog like twice because I felt like it wasn't working. And it's just another thing, you know. But anyway, going back to Chase, I'm a little pissed off because the first doctor I went to see, who I will not be seeing again, didn't check him over. Like, she checked his oxygen. She put the oxygen O2 stat thingy on his thumb. But she didn't listen to his chest. She didn't, like, look in his mouth, look in his ears, she didn't look at him. And she's done that for me as well. I've been to her once or twice. And I feel like I'm losing my voice. I went to her I think it was for my, at the time, I had a doctor I saw quite often. She's since left the practice, which sucks, but I usually saw her. But then I had an issue with a potential prolapse, and it was very sudden, and I was like, this hurts. I need to go see a doctor straight away. So I just booked in with the first doctor I could find. She didn't even feel my tummy. Like, she did nothing. She just looks at, like, she doesn't even, like, look you over. She just takes your history verbally, and that's it. She doesn't do a physical exam, ever. She then sent me for scans and, like, did what would have been the next step anyway. So that time I was like, well, I guess there was no point for a physical exam, I guess, because we just went to the next step regardless. But at the same time, it's like, what if there had been something she missed because she didn't do a physical exam? And yeah, this is an example of why that time I felt so weird by her not doing a physical exam, because she didn't do one on Chase, and coming, darling, stuff got missed. And that was very loud. If we had gotten the diagnosis earlier, we could have started the antivirals in time. Okay, that is it for the second day of Vlogmas. I'm having lots of trouble editing the first day of Vlogmas because I did all the editing. And then realized that I think I've downloaded the wrong version of the editing software, and you need a different subscription for this version. So now I have to redo it all. Trace doesn't want me sitting on a chair. Anyway, that's it. So see you in the next video, peoples. Bye.